Hello everybody and welcome back to the Winning Streak or the Viper Times, depending where you came from to watch this. I'm your host Bryson, and today we are doing episode 2 of Fabulous versus Fraudulent for the NBA. We're about 2 to 3 weeks in at this point, I think, somewhere around there. I don't even know for sure. But starting off with Fabulous, we're starting off with the Rockets, who are 6-3, and I added Dillon Brooks in there as a little addition. He's not playing spectacular, but he's playing above Dillon Brooks level. He's averaging 14, 4, and 2 on .551 field goal percentage, so that's pretty impressive on his end. And then great defense and energy, as he usually does, but he just needs to chill out a little bit still, I might say, but he is doing good, so I'll give him that. As for the Rockets, as a team, 0-3 start. They lost to the Magic by 30. They lost to the Spurs by 4 in overtime. And then they lost to the Warriors by 11. So first 3 games, people were just thinking like, oh, normal Rockets, same old, same old. The last 6 games, 6-0 run. Hornets by 9, Kings by 18, Kings by 25, Lakers by 34. They beat the Lakers by 34 points. I want to emphasize that. Dillon Brooks really did show up against LeBron, which is crazy. They beat the Pelicans and Nuggets by 3 in their last 2 games. So, impressive wins, I will say. The last 5 wins are all against playoff teams this year, I think. So, I got to give them credit where it's due. It's pretty crazy seeing that. Next team for Fabulous. Team and player again. I'll start with the player, Tyrese Halliburton. Expected, but he's even exceeding expectations. 25, 4, and 12.5 is what he's averaging right now. And in the last 2 games, he's had 28 assists with no turnovers, which I want to say is a record, but that's probably not true. But it's still a very crazy stat. As for the Pacers, they're 7-4. Their 4 losses came from the Bulls by 7, the Hornets by 1, the 76ers by 11, and the Celtics by 51 points. So, some losses, but their wins, they have 7 wins. They beat the Wizards by, They beat the Wizards by 23, the Cavaliers by 12, the Cavaliers by 5, the Spurs by 41, the Jazz by 16, the Bucks by 2, and the Sixers by 6, conveniently enough. So, I'll give them some credit there, of course. The Pacers have been on fire so far this season. I feel like they're going to end up like the Jazz last season. If you guys recall, the Jazz started pretty hot, and then they just fell off like they should have. I don't think the Pacers should fall off. I think they're a pretty solid team, but I don't think they're actually at the level they're playing at. Next up for Fabulous players, I have Anthony Edwards, who's averaging 28, 6, and 5 on 48.3% field goal, which is very nice. The Timberwolves are 8-2 right now, and they're second in the Western Conference, which is definitely pretty impressive considering all the hate and slander all the players, especially Cat, were getting up until now, realistically. I am going to put the video of the fight that happened last night because it was just so funny. Pay attention to Draymond.
And so we're scoreless. We'll stay 0-0 the first 2 minutes. And then look at Klay Thompson and McDaniels. What is going on with that? Wow. You've got a full-on fracas going on. Draymond.
So, yeah, there's that. Pretty funny video. I was laughing very hard after I saw Draymond put Rudy Gobert in a chokehold for no reason. They're trying to justify it and say that Gobert put his hands on Klay, but I really think Draymond just wanted to fight. Next up for Fabulous, Jokic, averaging 30, 14, and 8 on 58% field goal. First player in NBA history to be top 15 in all 4 of those stats. Pretty insane. And I was talking to someone earlier and saying, like, it's hard to even put him on this list because you just know he's going to be performing that great. So, he's insanely impressive to watch. We probably won't ever see anyone like him again, and he doesn't care about the NBA either. So, pretty wild. As for frauds so far, the Clippers are 3-7 and 12th in their conference. Their wins came from the Blazers, they beat by 12, the Spurs, who they beat by 40, and the Magic, who they beat by 16. Their losses are the Jazz by 2, the Lakers by 5 in overtime, the Knicks by 14, the Nets by 7, the Mavs by 18. They lost to the Grizzlies by 4, which is disgusting. And then they just lost to the Nuggets by 3. I say give Harden more time, but it's not looking good. You can't be losing to teams like the Grizzlies right now. So, not much to say on that, honestly. Scoot Henderson, second fraudulent player on my list, averaging 9, 2, and 4.6 on 34.6% field goal. He's a rookie. He's on a bad team, but being the third overall pick, and people were like, and don't call this a stretch, people were quite literally saying he could be the next MJ. People were super excited to see him. I was super excited to see him, and he hasn't shown us anything. He's shown us bench numbers. So, it's still really early on, but let's not get our hopes up too much, I guess. And then the last fraudulent player for my list is Julius Randle, shooting 18, 10, and 5, which is not bad, but on 34% field goal, 25.8% three-point field goal, and 70% free throws. The team is 5 and 5 and in 9th place right now. So not looking too good for the team or Julius Randle by himself. He's been a literal meme up until or since the beginning of the season for being a brick machine. So hopefully the frauds can figure it out and the fabulous players can keep it going, and we will see you next time.